there is a question that almost no one dares to ask, and even fewer are willing to investigate. Why is Elon Musk suddenly so deeply interested in the Amazon? Not because of satellites, not because of Starlink coverage, but the forest itself. For months, silent expeditions have been entering restricted regions of the Amazon, areas with no official access, no public documentation, no explanation. And yet, every route, every helicopter, every contractor seems to trace back to a single source. Private operators tied directly to Musk's companies. Some people say it's research, others claim it's environmental monitoring. But the deeper you look, the less this story resembles anything mundane. Because it doesn't begin with Tesla or SpaceX, it begins with a forgotten manuscript discovered in 1998 in the private archives of a German collector. An obscure, untranslated text describing a massive circular city hidden beneath an endless canopy of trees. A structure designed in rings, almost identical to Plato's description of Atlantis. A structure said to be older than the Amazon rainforest itself. What does this have to do with Musk? Everything starts to take shape after a 2019 digital leak. Encrypted emails exchanged between a SpaceX engineer and a Brazilian geospatial analyst. The emails described anomalies, geological formations beneath the forest floor so perfectly geometric they appear manufactured. Concentric circles, symmetrical depressions, patterns far too precise to be natural, unless someone built them. And here, watching this right now, you should start asking yourself, do you believe in coincidences? Because 3 weeks after those emails were sent, the analyst vanished. His social media erased, his academic files locked, his research group dissolved overnight. Only a single fragment survived, a satellite image from a prototype imaging system Musk wasn't supposed to have access to. The image showed something unmistakable, the outline of a submerged circular complex nearly 12 kilometers across, deep in the central Amazon. The same region indigenous oral traditions call the City of the First Sun, the same region explorers were warned never to enter, and the same region where Musk's aircraft began flying repeatedly, at night, without filing a single flight plan. So ask yourself now, why would one of the world's most powerful men risk international attention to scan a patch of jungle no government has ever fully mapped? What could possibly be hidden there? Something ancient enough, valuable enough, dangerous enough to justify this obsession. As we move into part 2, we investigate the original legend behind this city. A legend historians dismissed for decades, but one that aligns disturbingly well with Plato's account of Atlantis. Think carefully. If an advanced civilization truly existed beneath the Amazon, and if someone like Elon Musk found evidence of it first, what do you think he would do with that discovery? To understand why the Amazon might hide something as monumental as Atlantis, we must go back to the peoples who spoke of it first. Not Plato, not Greek philosophers, but forest civilizations that lived there thousands of years before outsiders ever stepped foot on the continent. For centuries, certain indigenous groups in the Central Basin passed down a story. One anthropology has always labeled as myth. A story of a city swallowed by the earth after a blinding flash in the sky. A city whose inhabitants controlled thunder, walked with the sun, and built stone rings that hummed at night. Most researchers ignored these claims. Musk, however, did not. Years before his expeditions, a Tesla linguist uncovered something strange. The earliest version of this legend described machines, devices with rotating cores powered by minerals unknown today. Machines that sounded eerily similar to experimental energy concepts Musk's own engineers were working on. A coincidence or a breadcrumb? This is where everything begins to darken. In 2021, during a major drought, parts of the basin dried up, exposing fragments never before seen. Smooth stone blocks, clean angles, channels carved with symbols identical to artifacts recovered near the Risha structure in Mauritania, another site long speculated to be linked to Atlantis. After this event, Musk's interest surged. He contacted 2 geologists studying the drought phenomena. Both initially agreed to collaborate, but months later, one retracted every statement he had made, and the other disappeared for days during an expedition only to be found in a delirious state, refusing to speak about what had happened. Authorities blamed dehydration. Witnesses said he was terrified. Then came the leaked drone footage. Posted anonymously, it revealed a massive depression, perfectly circular, descending in layered terraces. Exactly like Plato described, exactly like the patterns hidden beneath the Amazon's canopy in Musk's private images. Soon after, the government sealed off the area, claiming environmental risk. No drones allowed, no research, no access. Except for one group, Musk's contractors. Ask yourself, if ruins truly exist beneath the Amazon, why hasn't the world been shown undeniable proof? Consider this. Who owns the satellites scanning the region daily? Who has private spacecraft capable of capturing imagery outside government oversight? Who has the money and the motive to bury a discovery capable of rewriting human history? And more importantly, if someone discovered technology equal to or greater than our own, would they share it with humanity, or would they keep it? When Musk's team first entered the restricted zone, no one expected to find an intact artifact. Yet according to a leaked report, they recovered a single object, small enough to carry, but powerful enough to unsettle everyone who saw it. A black metallic sphere, warm to the touch, reacting violently to electromagnetic fields. When exposed to specific frequencies, it pulsed, softly, rhythmically, like a heartbeat. One engineer claimed it generated an unidentified form of energy. Another said the interior was hollow, but impossible, with spatial geometry that didn't obey physics. Some believed it was a power core. Others believed it was a key. Indigenous guides recognized it instantly. Their elders called it the seed of the first city, a relic from a civilization wiped out before the forest grew over its remains. And then came the disturbing part. The moment the sphere was removed, animals fled a 3-kilometer radius. Birds vanished. Insects died in clusters. Drones malfunctioned. Even satellites produced distorted images, as if the artifact was interfering with modern technology. Ask yourself, if such an object existed, why would Elon Musk be the one racing to understand it first, and what would he do with it? Days later, Musk had it transported out of Brazil with zero customs record. Straight to a secret facility known internally as Sector Theta, a private SpaceX compound not listed on any public documents. Inside a magnetic chamber, tests began. Vibration, density, spectrum analysis. The sphere levitated, rotated, responded. Its pulses weren't random. They looped like a message. Then came the real shock. When microscopic layers were cleaned, symbols emerged. Concentric rings, the same pattern described by Plato, the same geometry recorded at the Richard structure, the same design hidden beneath the Amazon canopy. That was when Musk ordered his team. Activate it. They attempted everything. High-voltage surges, resonance chambers, cryogenic shifts. Nothing triggered a full response. Until the sphere was placed inside a simulated environment modeled after the underground structure in the Amazon. At that moment, the artifact unleashed its strongest pulse ever, shutting down the entire compound. During the blackout, according to technicians who later resigned, the sphere opened. Not shattered, not cracked. It opened. Like a living machine unfolding itself, they saw light, motion, and then it closed again. Which leads to a terrifying question. If the model of the Amazon ruin triggered this response, what would happen at the real site? Once Musk realized the artifact was reacting to the ruin's geometry, everything escalated. Night flights, deep radar scans, secret excavation, and then the discovery, a descending stone passage, engineered with impossible precision, sealed for millennia. When the artifact was brought near, the sealed entrance vibrated and unlocked. Inside was not a tomb or temple. It was a machine, a colossal circular device made of stone fused with metal in a technique unknown to any ancient culture. At the center was a cradle shaped exactly like the sphere. When placed inside, the chamber ignited. Lights traced symbols matching those found worldwide at Atlantis-linked sites. The ground vibrated. Instruments died. And then, a projection. Earth, thousands of years ago. Cities on continents now submerged. Energy grids connecting the world. A global civilization far more advanced than history dares to admit. At the center of it all was the Amazon. The projection ended in a burst of light that killed every electronic device nearby. Musk left immediately. No comment, no explanation. Only a command to his top engineers. Replicate it. Now consider this carefully. If the Amazon truly hides the remains of an advanced pre-human civilization, and if Musk now possesses part of its technology, what do you think happens next? Will he reveal it, or reshape the world with it? And more importantly, if the machine woke once, is it still awake? Before we conclude, ask yourself one last question. If ancient technology capable of reshaping energy, geography, or the planet itself exists, do you really believe it would remain in public hands? Or in the hands of whoever found it first? For weeks after Musk returned from the Amazon, something strange started happening, quietly, far from the public eye. It began with a pulse, a rhythmic, low-frequency vibration detected by deep space antennas across the globe. Not a radio signal, not a transmission, but something older, something that didn't match any known natural source. But here's the part no one was supposed to know. The pulse came from Earth itself, and every cycle, every spike, every fluctuation matched the exact pattern carved inside the Atlantean chamber Musk had activated. Scientists who analyzed it described it as a heartbeat, a dormant system waking up. But Musk's people were the only ones who had the encryption key, the artifact. 3 nights later, at exactly 3:11 a.m., the artifact turned itself on. No one touched it. No one approached it. Yet, it activated. And the moment it lit up, satellites over the Amazon briefly flickered offline. Every single one. For exactly 6 seconds. Long enough for something to appear in the data. An enormous circular distortion beneath the forest canopy, far bigger than the chamber Musk had explored. A second structure, even deeper, even older. This was never about one ruin. It was a network, and the network had just pinged back. But here's the part that changed everything. When the artifact powered down, Musk reportedly said only one sentence to his engineering team. Whatever's beneath the Amazon wasn't built to stay buried. Since then, strange activity has intensified in the region. Unmarked aircraft flying low over restricted zones, ground scans classified within minutes of being uploaded, private security forces deployed without explanation, rumors that something metallic, massive, circular was detected moving beneath the soil, and the indigenous communities closest to the area, they reported hearing a deep hum coming from the ground. A sound they claim hasn't been heard since the age before men, a legend whispered long before Atlantis was ever a theory. Now let me ask you, who's assistindo eso? If Musk really found a technology capable of sending signals through the Earth, if he unknowingly reactivated part of an ancient planetary system, and if that system is waking up, what do you think it's waking for? Protection? Power? Or something else entirely, something we were never meant to uncover?